was the control of DNA looking at photolyase. Yeah. Photolyase.
Sorry for this. It's all the computer here. Very old computer. So I'm really appreciate giving me last chance. Okay, because personally, I feel if I didn't talk to this, probably I probably didn't come to Australia because this is being a photolyzed. It's a extremely common phenomena UVB, UVA issue here in Australia. So, but before I start the New Year talk, I noticed for all the conference workshop symposium, actually have some general phenomena. Like day one, everybody alive, had excited state, very excited, even pretty localized, like we had. And day two, and then get a many long radiative channel, very active dynamic. So even can be tunneling here, And also we go to snorkeling, all this activity. Then day three, we usually start to relax. From, they go to the ground state, we went to beach, we play tennis, we play golf, and then we also go maybe beauty shop, sometimes. And then usually day 4, day 5, everybody relax and transition back to home, And by now we miss one, maybe one is on the way to home, So that's a general trend for all components. Actually, the day 2 is most excited for components. If you look at all the components, So far we are good. For most of the components, day 4, day 5 already more than half here, okay? So we are pretty good, very good, So today, I just talk about this very important enzyme in the nature called Photolyase, which you will see very soon the story. So quickly, before I go to New system, I show you time scale here. If you are interested, recently I have a review article for this whole enzyme dynamics. If you look at this, the enzyme you learn in the textbook is about like turnover is millisecond or second. If you look at it carefully, the unit chemistry actually involves many faster motion from femtosecond, picosecond, electron-proton transfer, electron-proton tunneling, and then some enzyme activities. So it's covered the whole range. But besides this enzyme activity, if you look at the protein, that's a whole range, right? Local flexibility in the tens to hundreds picosecond. The master group, nibration is around this picosecond. Here I have domain motion. Of course, the fastest folding right now is a nanosecond. Of course, also second, maybe hours, as you learn from this workshop. So for my group, for past 4 years, we spend lots of time, probably 50% effort, to look at the protein dynamics at this range, and femtosecond to nanosecond. And then we try to extend the time scale to cover whole this range. So hopefully soon we can study dynamics is a very wide time scale. So this is the enzyme I'll talk about today. This is Photolyase. It's an enzyme it's related to photo. Otherwise the name is not Photolyase, which I show you the history very soon. This structure was solved about 12 years ago by Dr. Hoffer in Texas. So you can see this enzyme has 2 chromophore. One is folate molecule, another is flagging molecule. And then looks like photosynthetic system. You have a photo antenna and you have a key cofactor. And if you look at this structure, there's a hole here. Actually, this cofactor is sitting at the bottom of the hole. That's a big, beautiful hole, which I show you very soon, more detail. Then the enzyme, the cofactor sitting at the bottom. And then this photo antenna molecule is this side here. I didn't show here the molecule for the chromophore. So doing DNA repair is extremely important enzyme in the nature. Let's just give a quick background. you know you go to outside, especially here, right? You have UV, then you easily get a sunburn. And then sunburn, mainly you get a DNA damage in the nucleus, in the cell. And then you probably cell loss of function and cell death. And then you ask yourself, the organism's survival law. This is typically south part, I guess also South Asia, India, Malaysia, this disease. But it's not a skin cancer yet. If more serious, this will lead to the skin cancer, this UV damage of skin cancer. So you know, in the nature, if exposed to the UV, 75 to 80% is TT diamond damage, and only 20% is called 6-4 damage. So keep in mind, this TT is not a cross-link; it's in the same strain. So T is up and down, okay? But because you have GCAT, right? You never have TT this way. So actually, if you have two labeling T's, then they cross-link and become this called very famous cyclobutane pyrimidine diamond. It's more than 75-80% in the nature damage by this. The T is community sensitive damage in a base. So this is the enzyme I mentioned, the Photolyase. You can see it's widespread from bacteria and archaea and then eukarya. All life kingdoms, all three branches have this enzymes in this one. Also, some has 6-4, but bacteria doesn't have the 6-4 DNA repair. Only eukarya has 6-4. So here I focus 6-4 DNA repair system. Just to quickly give you a little bit of history. This is a very, very famous phenomenon called photoreactivation. I'm sure many many people here know this. It's 1949 by these two fellows published a paper. One is Nature, one is PNAS. They find out some cell, if shining UV, they lost the activity, and then they move to the visible and shine the visible light, and the activity will recovered. So in that time, that's a very famous terminology of photoreactivation. You have photoreactive biological activity. And then 1962, people know this is enzyme because it's fixed damaged DNA. So give the name, it's called DNA Photolyase. This is the enzyme, this is the photogenate, and then you pair DNA, so that's called the DNA Photolyase. And then until 1978, is gene is clone, finally gene clone. And after this, it's really blowing because exploring, because you can purify lots of proteins. And then you can do biochemical, biophysics studies. Otherwise, you just couldn't. So this is also by Pioneer. And this is Zhang right now. Also, we collaborate with him and in UNC, University of North Carolina Medical School. So 1984, finally people recognize that chromophore is flagging. So it's a flagging protein. And then, of course, flagging is good for electron transfer. It's a well-known electron transfer molecule, redox molecules. So propose electron transfer mechanism for this. However, this protein is very difficult to crystallize. And it took more than 10 years and finally get it crystallized. Even though that time you can purify large quantity of protein, no problem. And you very hard to crystallize protein. So it took 10 years. And then this is without a substrate, without the DNA, damaged DNA. It took another 10 years. People finally crystallize this complex. When I say this, I always told my students, you need good science. Take time. It's not a 1 year, 2 year. Of course, I told my students it's not a 10 year. You need a couple of years. So it's take time. So unfortunately, we have solved all the complete mechanism last 1 or 2 years ago. So this is the X-ray structure, complex structure by X-ray diffraction. Its resolution around, I remember, it's around 2 angstrom. So you can see here it is DNA, and then this is damaged TT dimer. This is a hole here. This is a cofactor. Flagging molecules. And then, very interesting, when they publish Science, one of my colleague, collaborator reviewed this paper, and then this is not a nearly dimer structure. It is a repaired dimer because by X-ray diffraction, this TT dimer already repaired. But people still believe this is the nearly structure. Probably this is a crystal and not too much more. But it's not. That you can see, it's not a diamond. There's no no bond, two bond here. So already repaired by X-ray photon. So that is people call a product substrate protein complex. So I draw cartoon here. This is a full-length molecule photo antenna. This is cofag, key cofag, and this is damaged DNA. So diamond need flips out. Okay, this is already by X-ray and by many biochemistry study proved this. So the diamond need to flip out the DNA and insert this hole. So this hole here, and then this is energy transfer, and then this is electron transfer. And pay attention. Practically, you don't need this photo antenna. This only enhance the the function. But basically, you also can excite this molecule. But only absorption coefficient is less. In the dim or very weak light system cell, or need this molecule to enhance this absorption. But theoretically, you only need this. So after this molecule excited, then we inject the electron to the damaged DNA. And many studies, if the damaged DNA accept the electron, we're done here reaction. So the first bond will break immediately. And then take a certain time break the second bond. During the break the second bond or after break the second bond, the electron will return back to this. So in this way, we finish photocycle. So photocycle. And keep in mind, this flagging is FADH minus. It's hydroquinone. It's not oxidized. It's hydroquinone. This is well known. Okay, already proved by EPR many studies. So, however, this system is extremely difficult. Why I say that? After you purify in the room temperature with the atmosphere condition, this semiquinone will lose the electron, become FADH, become semiquinone. Hydroquinone becomes semiquinone. Sorry. So the enzyme lost the activity immediately. There's no DNA repair at all. So, however, nature is very smart. There's 3 tryptophan here. They call the tryptophan triad. And also there's another shift alpha helix. People claim this is electron tunneling loop, this is electron hopping loop. So 308 is on protein surface. If you, after you purify this protein, you can use this FADH with the visible light, excited. So electron can hopping from the tryptophan to this cofag, then continue move. Finally, on the surface, tryptophan 308 will be positive. So this tryptophan will grab electron from the solvent and then become photon reduction. So this is a well-known phenomenon called photon reduction. Use a photon to reduce this cofactor become FADH minus. After you photon reduce without oxygen in the anaerobic condition and extremely stable, you can keep it there for days, months. It's extremely stable, the system. So in this way, you can shine light again, you do DNA repair. Of course, this is very challenging experiment because you need to do all this experiment without oxygen. Right? You need with this. So I'm not going to talk about this. We start all of this. Today, keep in mind, we are back and forth emphasize this pair, semiquinone and the hydroquinone. So after purify, you become FADH, stable there. You shine light without oxygen become this. And then you shine light again to DNA repair. And after electron inject the DNA, the intermediate stage is a semiquinone. And you need to follow this intermediate stage to see how DNA repair. Then after DNA repair, this accepted electron become hydroquinone again. So you need a back and forth this redox potential in the protein. So here I summarize this 3 process. You can see these 2, relatively speaking, is easy to study. So we all did this. But this is very difficult for DNA repair in real time. So that students get frustrated. When they do this, they are very happy. Data is beautiful, but do DNA repair is very difficult. The trick here, I just emphasize here the trick is that here, in order to map complete this dynamics,
we combine fluorescence and absorption. So the first thing is, when we excite the protein, we make sure what's the forward rate. This is K1. That's no doubt. It's up-converting fluorescence, we know very precisely. And then we switch transient absorption, and of course transient absorption will detect all the states. And then as long as we know the K1, we pretty precise determine the K2, which I show you. I mean, this is a simple three-level system. The simplest dynamics probably. So what's the key here? Number one, when I choose this system, I thought that this is perfect. This is like a photoreceptor type. Your function can synchronize with femtosecond latest. So in this way, we say, well, we really want to take this chance to map out the complete function dynamics from beginning to end. Secondly is, we really want to understand that there's any physical or chemical principle why this system is so efficient. And the quantum yield for this system is 90%. You will see there are many, many steps. The quantum yield is 90%. As I mentioned during the discussion, for past 15 years, people probably synthesize more than 100 chemical compounds, biomimetic compounds, and then none can beat this biology system. Highest probably 20% or 30. This is 90% efficiency. Whole repair from beginning to end is 90%. So the students did in the lab, synthesize, damage the DNA and get the protein, and we do study state. It is true when we mix on the visible light, we just turn on the light, and you will see the TT formation. This is a 260 around the 260 absorption. So you will see the TT formation with the time. Very easy. This is each 5 minutes interval. So when we do experiment, we need it in the red light. Red light there's no DNA repair. So this is by your blue light absorption. Very easy, just turn room light. You can see DNA repair. Then you ask yourself, how fast? How to do this in real time? So if this is true, then you look at this characteristics. It's very simple. You have TT dimer, you have excited states. If you inject the electron to TT, you will see this intermediate semifinal, and then you should see this states decay, this semifinal formation and decay. If you monitor product, ground cylinder recovery, you should see this. So that's the way before doing experiment, we should see this phenomenon. So this is an experiment which we done after we do the DNA repair. We're back to do this experiment because we didn't understand the result. So this is we done without substrate. We take this protein, put a cofactor, we pump this molecule, and this is hydroquinone emission, extremely weak. Usually people say hydroquinone is no fluorescence, but you will still see some with fluorescence. And then if we're getting, like we do solvation, we're getting time resolved, each peak here, each wavelength around this peak, you will see systematically change. So that's extremely important for interpret the data later on, because this is solvation. I believe this is probably the first enzyme solvation in tax system without any labeling. So we see the solvation, a few picosecond initial, and then continually move the active site until lifetime. So that means after you excite this molecule, the whole active site is moving until lifetime. So this one, flavin hydroquinone, lifetime is around 1 nanosecond. In 1 nanosecond in this active site. So so you will see continue move. So of course, we look at the structure, you see a lot of water there. And then we put the substrate. You can see this is on the red side. Assume solvation is minimum. Then we put the TT dimer DNA. You see extremely fast. You couldn't fit this single expansion decay because, as I show you solvation, right? The whole site is heterogeneous move. So during this move, your electron transfer, there's no way single expansion decay. So in this way, we fit this is how 170 picosecond beta equal 0.7. It's stretched. So it's like protein folding type. So this is the forward rate. So then we switch the training absorption, and then above 500, there's only two absorb. One is the semiquinone, intermediate state. Another is excited state. So we first monitor here, make sure this excited state dynamics is matching the fluorescence data. Then we tune this wavelength and we get the intermediate state dynamics. So that's what we did exactly. So this blue side is fluorescence data. This symbol is transition absorption data. So match value were excited state. When tune a little bit of blue, you see it's very different. Why different? Because you have semiclinal intermediate state. So that's what we did. So in this way, we fit. It's about half nanosecond, same beta. So in this way, the completely DNA repair is finished within the 1 nanosecond. If you ask about chemistry, how does this system, they will tell you it's a second, always second. So most of the time it's recognition. It's not chemistry at all. The key chemistry happen finished in. So that's also actually to tell you why it's faster, what's the distance. So I skip this. This is the most important side. Also, it's summary here. And we get forward, K1 is 170, beta equal 0.7. Let's assume beta 7. Then we get 560 is splitting and electron also return. Because we usually see the FADH and go away. That means back to this ground state. And if you calculate all this quantum yield, this charge combination before the dimer splitting is 0. You will see this is strange. You have forward, you are backward. The why do this? If you look at this, it's sharp to us. This time is very long, relatively speaking, because it's Venus contact. Theoretically should be only like 10 picosecond. But this is 170 picosecond. The system did on purpose slow down forward a little bit and make sure this backward even longer. In this way, the system have enough time to break a bond and go this channel. So overall quantum yield is 0.9. Of course, you will ask me, how nature do this? I mean, I just stop here because we did all chemical mimic system. We did many other studies. I don't have time. I tell you by this local electrostatics, and the nature can tune this state. And also, I didn't spend time to say this, or to tune this state and get a maximum. Okay, so that's I finish here. If we have question, and we can answer. By the way, this system to me is extremely exciting. This is probably the first system to start an enzyme reaction directly with launching the transition state. So we don't have an initial recognition business. So when system prepare with photon, the enzyme function reaction exactly start at a transition state. So you can watch the transition state of evolution with the time. So this is interesting. If you have interest, you can look at a paper based on the several papers here. So after I finish this, I always joke or interesting thing to tell you, right? Right now, you don't worry, you can buy this lotion. So if you read the instruction, they say inside they have photolyase, or they have a the chemical compound inside. They say if you go outside, you only put the skin will be perfectly fine. The end will be fine. You are scientist, right? How can you go into the cell? How to go to nucleus, right? That definitely, to me, yeah, it doesn't work. So finally, just send students did this because I highlighted by the red name. So basically, students Yating and Chipania is two major players for this enzyme study. Early days, I have two postdocs, and I really appreciate this collaboration with Aziz Zanja. You're the pioneer of this enzyme for 20 years or 30 years. And then mine is supported by Park Foundation and NIH or many other associations. Finally, take a last moment. We really appreciate to organize and then also University of Queensland. Okay, thank you.
I guess there's time for a few questions before we take Ben.
Oh, okay. So two questions. First, quickly, since on your chart where you showed where photolyase occurs, it doesn't work for Homo sapiens. What does the same job? What enzyme does the same job for Homo sapiens? I mean, because you have to have PK repair?
Yeah, this is a total different. It's acquisition nuclear repair in human.
Okay.
So without a photon.
Right.
And very interesting by evolution, people told me, I look at the tree,
Yeah.
people say 160 million years ago, there's something happened on the earth, I don't know. And then this whole branch is lost the photolight. If you look at the insect, the snake, frog, all has this enzyme. So I always joke with my students, actually the snake or frog has less chance to get a skin cancer problem than
Right.
human. So because they have this enzyme, and then recently, the paper in Cell, the Netherlands, there's a group in the Netherlands did a transgenic mouse, and then they say the skin damage can enhance with the gene by 10,000 times. So it is definitely directly related to skin cancer by this enzyme. Yeah, the mammal all lost.
So they evolved a different complex.
Yeah.
So then the second question is just this: has anybody, since this has these chromophores that give you a nice tag on it, has anybody thought of doing single molecule studies on this to see about mechanisms for finding its way to the binding site?
That's a very good question. Number one, so far not yet. Sunny, we talk a lot many times on because he did Fleming early days for single molecule. That is oxide state. This reduced is really low fluorescence. I mean, in terms of single molecule, that's no fluorescence. I mean, we still can do the sample average is weak fluorescence.
Right.
If you put a single molecule, that's a low way to get. This number one. Number two, people right now has a feeling this is by diffusion searching. So in the nuclear,
Right, but it'd be nice to prove that.
yeah,
the
that's
point.
right, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a very nice study. Can you go to this FADH emission spectra? I found two peaks, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So-
That's very good.
Yeah.
No, I shouldn't show you this. This is another talk there. Yeah. Yeah, I know you are expert to see this. Yeah, it is 2 peaks. Yes, you are right.
Is the two peak?
Yeah.
So, but whenever you are taking the decay in the blue end
Yeah.
and the red end, for example,
That's
is there
right.
any possibility that it is not a solvation or a hydration? It is the equilibrium of the two conformers?
Oh, that's very good question. But let's see. I'll show you the spectrum. And this 2 peaks here. I show you here.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
2 peaks here. So this one, we truly believe it's not a true conformer. It is really in this environment. It is in this. Looks like you go to this restricted environment. So looks like you have peaks. Like you have like azoline, tryptophan in azoline. You have 3 peaks. So this is one.
No, my simple question: will you do the excitation spectrum with the different emission thing, like in the blue end
yeah.
and the red end and the middle?
Yeah,
are
we-
the same?
Yeah, we have all. Yes, we have all this.
So it is essentially single species.
Exactly. We have all the data in the computer. Okay.
Okay, very
So we have all this. This is a good question because at the beginning we really confused say why this not smooth like like a normal fitting.
And you see the decay is the blue end is faster and red end is not much rise, but slower something.
That's right.
Lifetime
You have a little bit of rise here. Only you can see this
lifetime
one.
is different.
This one. Hey, this is an interesting question. Now this is the Solvation expert. So, I never point out this. Think about it. If Solvation slow down lifetime, what do you observe? Right? This is exactly the question. So, exactly we see here, each one on the red side, actually it is a different lifetime. You will see this molecule only have 1 lifetime. Why you see each division have different lifetime? You fit 1 nanosecond, 900, 1.1. Why? The solvation haven't finished yet. So that's why I say the solvation continue until your lifetime. So your molecule, during the emission, they keep solvation. So on the red side, you didn't see single lifetime. You keep on moving there. Yeah.
So a quick question. Normally flavours are involved in triplet state photochemistry. I just wondered, have you, I mean, I'm almost totally convinced, but have you looked at where there's triplet state involved?
Well, that's a very good question. Early days, everybody should say this is DNA replace triplet state. Before we started, or before somebody, or early days have a pickle sense, everybody assigned this should be, it's not a triplet. Actually, people assign triplet states or quartet state, and then, so this is we believe single state, and also have calculation everything.
We didn't see. I mean,
There's no trend into longer timescales with this.
you mean watch the? But we overall lifetime is 1 nanosecond. I'm pretty much sure they have branching to triplet maybe I don't know 1% or 2%. The overall lifetime is 1 nanosecond. 1 nanosecond I think. The flag increase protein.
So all the energy is lost at that time in 1 nanosecond. There's no.
Well, this is total rate. Right, this is total rate, including radiative, non-radiative. Total rate is 1 nanosecond. This is in protein packet. Yeah, could be there's some branching to the triplet, yes. But the electron transfer only happening in the 170 picosecond. So it's very hard, not very hard, just impossible. It's triplet states to DNA repair. That's the point.